said, would you do at least one of the girlfriend missions? Each girl has unique storyline missions that are pretty funny. Don't worry, we won't tell Kat. I have no interest in them. Dude, I'm serious now. I'm going to be very honest, alright? Can I be very honest with everybody here for a minute? I'm 37 years old. I'm married man. I'm a married man. I have no reason to have waifus. I have no reason to do romance missions in video games. I have nice romance in my real life. I don't need simulated fucking romance in my video games, okay? So I have no desire whatsoever to do stupid romance missions in a video game. Not in an RPG, not in a fucking Yakuza game, not in any game. I don't need to do romance missions. It's so ridiculous, you know? Yeah, at one point in my life, it was funny or fun to do that stuff. At this point, I think it's lame. It's cringy. I don't want to do it. It's like not interesting to me at all. Okay? All right.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with 3 videos that's going to make up our broadcast for today. So, yeah, that should be cool. Ladies and gentlemen, all these videos are provided by one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. See the switch up there? First video, monthly goals. Monthly goals achieved. Night streams are better, and I am not important to receive payments. I see a whole lot of contradictory there, but all right. Second video, they are not donations, and refuses to replay Catherine. And, oh boy, famous story of his 4th place finish at Evo. Fun, fun, fun. See how the story switches up this time around. And for the last video of the broadcast, let's see, opinions on the Twitch Inequality drama. I mean, in some ways, Phil kind of benefited from that in some way, shape, or form. So that is what it is. Okay, so monthly goals achieved. All right, I mean, he normally does. He actually has a pretty good record for hitting most of them. They're just usually poorly thought out, poorly executed, and then, you know, no one wants to see it again for a while. As for the nighttime streams, his chill streams are better. Make of that what you will. There's a lot of gold dust that usually comes out of those things. If you're watching either Tevin or Lightside Bill or Dark Dave, you're going to be entertained. So theoretically, you could say yeah. And not important to receive payments. Contributions, anyone? As for they are not donations, I mean, what do you call it? You're a charity case, Phil. You beg. Sounds like a donation to me. Whatever. Refusing to play Catherine. I guess that has something to do with his relationship. Apparently, Catherine, his Catherine, apparently has him cucked so hard that he can't have a virtual relationship for the video games that he plays for a living. Imagine that. And then his 4th place finish at Evo. There should be some laughs there. And then, for the last broadcast, the opinions on the Twitch Inequality drama. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have anything in there that's going to be worthwhile because he's not going to want to say anything that's going to put him in a bad position. Gross Gore is already out here cucking himself all to hell. So, I mean, it is what it is. Phil's one less person that doesn't need to completely and totally embarrass himself. Either which way, it should be interesting nonetheless. I hope your guys' day is going well, and hopefully we can help start it off right. So let's get right into it. I'm sure you guys have your SnortBucks coffee handy, or cappuccino, or, you know, iced coffee, or, you know, milkshake, smoothie, whatever the case may be. We have a special line of juices, whatever the case may be. Energy drinks. We're expanding here. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and production. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet. But, you guys are going to get a triple helping here. So, you know what I'm saying? Bask in it. Because it's not going to always be this way. I got to cut it back. You know what I'm saying? Too much salt in your diet is not very good. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to watch me work.
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright. Sounds good to me.
I just want to remind...
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going over the first video of our broadcast, Snort Burnell, DSP. Monthly goal achieved. Nighttime streams, or night streams are better, and I am not important to receive payments. Defiant sniff. Here we go.
Remind you all that we have a special subscriber event going on for this month. That if we hit a certain number of subscribers by the end of this month, that is 600 subscribers on the channel, I'll be doing a special retrospective marathon. And holy crap, Heaving Earth just dropped a ginormous sub bomb on the stream that glitched out my Streamlabs.
Now real quick, is it just me, or doesn't he already owe a retrospective stream from like June? I feel like he already owes a retrospective stream and we didn't get it. That's just me though. That's just me. Because we're in August now, and he has what? The Rageathon? What was the monthly, what was the sub goal, or what was the sub goal last month? And what was the sub goal in July? And then what was the sub goal in June? One of those two, I think, was supposed to be a retrospective event, and I don't think we got it. But that's just me, though. Someone will correct me in the comment section. I very much appreciate it. Here we go.
They're not using conscious thought anymore.
Thank
you very much to Heaving Earth dropping a 25 sub bomb. That's obviously going to get us way closer to hitting the goal. Oh my god, excuse me. That was absolutely disgusting.
First of all, we had Cody Carls, who did a 50-bit cheer overnight. He says, you mentioned contributions on some streams recently have been low, specifically morning ones. Do you think that will pick up in the hardcore gaming season, and do you think you should focus more on chill game streams, as that's really what brings in more financially... if that's more financially successful for you? I think the wording was off there, but... Alright, first of all, Cody Carls, thank you for the cheer, but I think you're getting a misconception here.
Anyway, guys, tonight, if you cheer, sub, or tip, I'll give you a shout-out. Much appreciated if you do. Because I'll be very honest with you guys, earlier today was very slow. Like, I don't know what happened earlier today, but it was crazy slow on the first stream with contributions. One of the slowest streams I've seen in months. I don't know why, because I was playing GTA 4, I was enjoying the game, and people seemed to be telling me they were enjoying the playthrough.
I don't know about all that, but he had the viewership on the first stream, but he just didn't have the contributions. The nighttime stream is where all the real gold dust and all the real... It's the most exciting part of it. It used to be MLB, to be honest, but it's really between Minecraft and Black Ops, or Blackout. Those are, or Gout Out. Those are the two that actually produce, and those are at night. To be honest, I think that's what it really comes down to. He can get his little bit of viewership during the day, But at night, though, and the nighttime streams are what carries the day. But he, I wouldn't say set it up because that would require forethought. But in a lot of ways, he conditioned it. He either conditioned the situation, he set up the situation, and then he was conditioned by the audience for it to be that way. So, I mean, he can't really change that. It's a shame, too, that he doesn't have that type of interaction during the day. And then Twitch might actually think he was worth, well, maybe not, but Twitch might actually think he was rather profitable. But he's not. he's really not. And why the hell is he playing GTA again makes no sense at all. Like, it's really boring. It's really repetitive. He's basically pig-splaining you what happens here, what happens here, what happens here. So if you're someone who's watching this for the first time ever, he's already kind of screwing it up for you, you know, literally from oink number one. It's just kind of how he does, because he's a fucking idiot. And yet again, and he's not conscious enough to realize that not everybody who watches your stream is familiar with the game or with you. First impressions are still a thing, Phil.
The streamers are very interactive. I'm talking with everybody. What the hell are you talking about? Equilibrium. No, seriously, so many fucking whiny people today. What is going on? Why are people here not to have fun instead of troll and be whiny bitches? Like, what the hell, man? Talk about the difference from the first GTA stream on Sunday and today. People just want to annoy me. Just fucking relax, dude. Stop complaining. Talk with people the entire goddamn stream. Sheesh. Welcome, my friends, to a world of wonder and joy. Ho, 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 ho. It's the positive stream. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, let's stop that.
I didn't say that at all. If you're addressing that, you're talking about one particular stream that happened earlier this week, where for whatever reason, I thought it was an oddball thing, that it was, actually, it was a stream that had a lot of attendance.
I never said anything, but I'm going to pig-explain to you what the situation was and how you're right, but I want you to see it from my perspective. Gotcha.
You know, it actually was a fun interactive stream, but for whatever reason, contributions were kind of low that stream. And, you know, it's obvious. It's not like I even need to say it. You guys see the contributions on the leaderboard there. And people were even saying, geez, this was kind of a slow stream for contributions. I wonder why. You know, I don't know why. It happens sometimes, right? I mean, I'll be honest. Yes, in regards to your comments, I've been seeing a pattern recently that it seems to be the later night chill streams that bring in more contributions. I think.
But yet again, as Snort Burnell has already stated, this dude just got just received $2,100 only a few days ago, and altogether though for that previous week, he ended up making something like $2,500, and yet he got the nerve to bitch and complain a week later on why people aren't coming through with contributions. Like you can, like, give them time to recover. It's like a vampire literally showing back up every 3 or 4 hours to suck you dry, and then getting mad that there's not enough blood there. It's basically how that works. You know what I mean? It's not like he's a tick or a mosquito. Like, he is literally a full-blown vampire, and just doesn't understand what recovery time is. You received all this cash, and the very people that are there are trying to kind of contemplate, why is it that you're broke already? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. So no one's gonna contribute, because what's the reason for doing so? You just walked away with $2,500. But see, for Phil though, he needs 24-hour welfare, 24-hour support, 24-hour contributions. If not, what are you doing there? Just saying.
I mean, this is just me hypothesizing, but I think the reason is the people that come to my late night chill streams are people that like me. They're coming to watch me play whatever game it is. They don't care if it's baseball or American football or Minecraft or Battle Royal or, you know, Judgment. They don't care what the game is. They're just coming to hang out because they like me. They like my streams. They just want to kind of have fun with me, and they really don't give a crap about what the content of the game is. They're just here to relax and enjoy themselves, and if they do, they contribute, right? So those are kind of...
If that's the case, then why are you playing video games at all? Why aren't you just turning these into IRL streams? Which I've said before. You should just turn them... He really should just have an IRL stream, where he just answered questions about whatever. He'll make more money that way. I mean, there's no need for him to hide behind the veil of being a gamer anymore. You're not a gamer. It's very obvious that you don't enjoy what you do, and you're having a harder and harder time committing yourself to it. You're good at, kinda. Your forte, if you will, is talking shit and giving half-ass opinions about shit you don't know nothing about, or you barely know anything about, or what's trending on Twitter, or detractors, or people who are more successful than you, who are shills. Then in the next breath complain about how you didn't have the same opportunities that they did because of trolls and haters and so on and so forth. Despite the fact that you said that you didn't feel a need to shill, and it was all about being the honest guy and being the realest guy on YouTube, and crowdfunding is the future, but yet you still wish you could do the shill programs and stuff and sponsorships. He's better off just doing that, I swear. If he did that and a bunch of money rolled in, we would have most of this whole debunking nonsense cleared up in a couple months.
Hardcore fans, the more long-time fans, they come to just relax. That's what the purpose of the stream is for them. The people who come to my early gameplay streams, in general, I would say, are a more diverse crowd than that. So, it's not surprising to say, oh, look, I'm doing daytime streams, and I'm playing games that maybe bring in viewership, but they're not bringing in big contributions, because the people who contribute are coming by on the late streams. They're not coming by for these, you know, not so crowd-pleasing releases that I've been playing during the day. Just being very matter of fact. I think that's the case. But no, Cody Carls, in general, that's what you're saying.
Wait, I thought you said that, I thought Phil says that the reason why he plays the games that he plays is because it's good for the business, and he knows what people want. And people have asked him for years upon years upon years to replay these games, and that they would come out and support. But doesn't all this contradict that? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Is not the truth. Daytime streams have not been down at all in contributions. In fact, daytime streams have been very good in general. It was one stream.
I mean, if $13 a day is a thing, if this was like a third world country, maybe that would probably be a good thing. But I don't know, man. And even still, Wings is beating you. Jesus Christ. Wings streams for like 4 or 5 hours, and he can at least drum up a couple $100. Shit.
This week that I referenced in particular, where it seemed like it was abnormally slow. Outside of that one stream, things have been great. I don't want anyone to think that I'm like complaining or nothing. I'm not. The streaming has been going incredibly well, and I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm ungrateful, because I'm not. The streams are going good, okay? So I hope this clears up that misconception. That's not true at all.
Give me your money. I need your help.
Alright, continuing on now. Our first contribution of today's stream actually came from someone named Real Talk, who tipped me $2 and said, would you ever do a paid meet and greet where your fans would have to pay and you could meet them? No. Absolutely not. I would never charge to meet a fan. I would never charge for an autograph. I feel that's ridiculous. First of all, I don't think that I'm anyone important. I'm just be honest with you. I think I'm just some guy on the internet who makes content. I don't see myself as someone who's like an important, you know, celebrity or figurehead in the gaming community, or anyone who you should even pay a single dollar for. I'll be honest with you, I've always...
Wait a second, not a person that you should pay a single dollar for. Yet, you have had people donate money, give you money for games for years. You figured out a way, or you convince people to pay for back taxes, his federal taxes, to save his house, to pay his bills, to go on vacations. He convinced people to do all these things, but he's not important, and he would never charge anybody a dime for anything? The fuck? How does that work? Wow. That like piggy short-term memory. I wonder if he pulls like pig psychosis on himself sometimes, so he doesn't actually like see himself for what he is. Because like, it must be hard, right, to wake up every morning and know that, despite all the gin that he's probably drinking, to wake up every morning and know that you have to go through another day of begging. You have to go through another day of convincing people to give you money to do something that you're incredibly terrible at, but it's the only thing that you can do. And despite how terrible you are, there is some semblance of hope that you could possibly get better at it if you put some effort into it. But you won't, because that's for suckers. Amazing. That must be the worst type of mental conundrum ever.
Been the mentality that I don't think you should ever pay anyone for anything like that. That's just my mentality. That's me. You could completely disagree and say, well, I think that it's worth it if you could get that guaranteed moment to interact with a celebrity or someone who you hold in high regard or whatever. Fine, that's you. That's not me. So
wait, don't you charge them for interactions though? And isn't an interaction kind of like a virtual autograph, if you will? It kind of cements you on stream, which in turn cements you into the video. Is that really no different than if you were asking for an autograph from Darkside Phil at like a panel or something? It kind of works in the exact same way. Something to think about. The more you know.
For me, I would never, ever, ever do a paid event like that. I think that that's kind of ridiculous. That's kind of saying that you're like better than everyone else, kind of an elitist. I don't think I am.
I am the supreme being. I make the rules, and what I say goes. My autograph alone, to some people, is worth more than anything that Tevin will ever do in his entire fucking life. So choke on that, bitch.
I don't think that I'm that nearly as important as people.
And why would you think that's something worthwhile? People like Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, and those of that stature don't even hold their autographs or anything that they own to such high regard. But yet Darkside fucking Phil does? What type of mental maggot is he to think that other people would hold his autograph to such a high regard that it's worth more than another man's life? Or the aspects of that man's life? And be proud of that. Wow. And people really find a need to defend this guy. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
A lot of people think I am. So the answer there, real talk, is no, never. Okay? And I've never have. You know, anyone who's ever met me in person just stumbled into me randomly, you know, whether it's, you know, in a mall or at a store on the street.
Oh, are you Darkside Phil? Yes, I am.
DSP, get a job.
Why don't you get a job? Give up. Go get a job. Go get a 9-to-5 job and give up.
Hey, DSP, you gotta get a job.
DSP, get a damn job.
Hey, DSP, Tyrone says you need to get a job, dude. DSP, get a job.
Oh my god, here we go, moron. I have a job. It's much better than yours. Oh, awesome. Can I shake your hand? Can I have an autograph? Sure. Oh, can I take a picture? Sure, why not?
And I've said this over the years, everyone who's ever met me has been incredibly respectful. Incredibly respectful. I've never met a single disrespectful person in person. Everyone's always been nothing but nice to me. And I really appreciate that, because when I'm on my day off or whatever...
Wait. Now, I'm going to go deep into my bag on this one. Okay, some DSP lore. Okay, Phil went to a tournament. It was him, John Rambo, obviously, and I don't know if OJ or Howard were there, but they went to a tournament in another city or some shit. And it also turned out to be a meet and greet with some other fans or whatever. They hung out for the day, so on and so forth. Then, someone had proposed, hey, let's go out to dinner. So they did. And Phil ended up, and you know, they had dinner, they kind of talked it out. The bill came and, you know, everybody picked up and left, and so on and so forth. And a couple people stuck Phil with the bill. I can't remember how many people he said, but I think he said at least, he said there must have been like 15 or 20 people maybe who showed up to this, showed up to this little meet and greet. And I think he said like 5 to 7 people like skipped out on the bill. Okay? And he was seriously upset. He was seriously pissed off. He was mad that his trust was taken for granted. How they basically just used him and abused him like that to get a free meal out of him. So on and so forth. But he just told you that every person that he's ever met has been extremely respectful to him. So them skipping out on a bill on you would be disrespectful. Especially Mr. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Riding on top of the world, white hot popular, BMW outside, whole bunch of stupid ass statues that don't mean shit to nobody but himself, a game collection that he don't even know what's in it because he just threw a bunch of money out at it. You know, money was rolling in. Money was rolling in crazy like. So what would be, oh, I don't know, $70 amongst people who may or may not have been your fans? But yet again, going to his current narrative, everybody he's ever met in real life though has been super respectful. I'm sure someone remembers that story, or they remember that bit of DSP lore. But how respectful were they then, Phil? How respectful were they then?
And obviously, I have no intention of meeting up with a viewer or someone who knows who I am on the internet. And I'm taking time away from my personal time with my wife to say hello to someone. I appreciate that people are nice to me. Okay? So, thank you for that. And no, I would never charge for any kind of an interaction like that. That's ridiculous. Okay? Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a ridiculous amount of gifted subs on the stream today. Thank you so much to the people who did this. I'm going to give shout-outs for that right now. I mean, a lot of gifted subs.
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, I already talked about charging for interactions. I already said basically getting a shout-out on stream is basically a paid interaction, if you think about it. But then, as Snort Burnell just put up there, $1,000 for Jasper. Actually, it's really $2,100 for Jasper, to be honest. But it was $1,000 to reveal him. Did we forget about that too? The pignosis must be strong if you kind of induce it on yourself.
Earth then decided, I'm not done. I'm going to gift even more subs. So congratulations to the following people who received even more gifted subs from Peeping Earth.
That's awesome stuff. I can't wait. I'm having so much fun now. Really, seriously, and I cannot wait for more. This is cool because I'm getting that positive vibe that I had for most of 2017. I'm getting it back now. Now, I'm getting that groove back, getting that vibe back. I'm ready for fun stuff. I hope you guys are ready too.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and that's the thing that ends up kind of like punching him in the snout like every single day is, for Phil, the driving force is money. That's what dictates what's fun and what isn't. And when he doesn't get it, oh, the game sucks, the game's garbage, oh, you guys are trolling, why can't you guys just sit around and chill and be quiet and whatnot, let me play the game, because you idiots aren't giving me any money, so why are you guys even talking to me? Like, yet he says it's not about the money. He does it for the love of the game. Yet it's clearly just for money. That's the driving force behind all of this. It's always has been. It always will be. And yet he still feels the need to lie and say that it's not. If he came out and admitted that, you know what, it's just a job, this is what I do, it's all I can do, at least be honest to yourself. You know what I'm saying? The kids are probably going to eat it up either which way. But Jesus Christ, at least be honest with yourself. Like, you're going to wake up every day and beg for money. Period. You can call it contributions, you can flip it any way you want, but it's begging. At the end of the day, it's begging. And it'll never be anything more than that. Sorry. I'm sorry that I have to be the one person. Well, I'm probably one of many. But I'm probably going to be the one person that's going to tell you that shit. Because nobody in your fan base apparently wants to do so. Sorry, Phil. Okay? My bad. It's not my bad. I don't feel sorry at all.
Currently have 4,000 subs. No, that's ridiculous. We have 610 subs. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We hit the sub goal for the month.
Actually, funny enough, back in the day, I don't know if he used to have 4,000 subs. I know he used to have, his viewership was way higher. I don't know if he had 4,000 subs back in the day. I don't know. I remember his viewership used to be crazy, though. I remember watching old Tevin videos where he used to talk about that shit. And, like, really old Snort Burnell videos where you kind of see it. His viewership used to be nuts. And he still used to bitch and complain about it being low. Imagine that. Imagine having 3,000 people on a stream and bitching and complaining about the number being too low. He can barely pull 1,000 now unless it's drama. Hurtful. Truly hurtful.
Oh my god. It's terrible.
And I'm very pleased with this because, as I told you guys, I was very nervous because we had a big sub bomb in late July to make the sub goal happen for the Rageathon, and I was nervous those were all gonna like lapse and no one was gonna renew, and we were not gonna hit the sub goal for the month. We hit the sub goal this morning.
Okay, so July was the Rageathon. What was June? I'm telling you, I feel like there was a retrospective stream that was already owed, and we didn't get it for whatever reason. I feel like it, but I don't know.
Thank you guys, everyone who just gifted subs or subbed themselves. That is really awesome. We did it, so I can actually now get rid of the sub goal. I can just say sub 610. We hit it for the month.
Immediately, when people were like, dude, when this is hot, that's hot, I would just drop everything I'm doing to do the hot thing. Alright? I would jump on every trend. I would dress up like a character on stream. I would do every little thing to make an extra $1. I would sell out completely, which many streamers have done. I'm some fucking sellout shill who only cares about money. Still has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay.
Damn right you eBay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys for the next broadcast, or for the next video in the broadcast, I should say, in literally just a second.
Contributions are mandatory.
This is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, that's... sounds good to me.
Clean up, man.
I'm really surprised you don't have nosebleeds. Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for our second video of the broadcast. Snort Burnell. DSP. Sorry, it's still having a... it's going to take a little while to get acclimated to that. They are not donations. Refuses to replay Catherine. And famous story of his 4th place finish at EVO. Oh boy. Here we go.
And 85 resubbed for 4 months overnight and said, Penne Pasta Boys Unite. Oh boy. The penne pasta meme. It's nice and fresh and interesting, as we all know. So, yeah, the penne pasta meme.
Penne. Oh, penne pasta is great. I prefer penne because it's easier to eat. You gotta slurp it. It gets all over the sauce. There's something to eat it properly. It's fun and delicious. You eat it easily.
Disgusting Belch. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you to Really Disgusting Raucous Belch. Okay, that one I kind of made up. Sorry about that disgusting belch. It came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. Okay, Frog with a party hat tipped me $1. Said, can I rejoin the stream? GTA 4 is one of my favorite games. I would like to interact with the chat. I apologize for being trollish. Well, Frog with a party hat, let's take a look and let's see why you were banned, right? Let's do
Wait, I thought, 1, you can't pay to get unbanned. 2, I thought we do all of this. You got to go through a mod, or you have to go through at darksidephil@hotmail.com to get stuff like this resolved. Pre-stream or not. Just say, all right, whatever. It's his Twitch channel, right? Let him snort the way he wants to.
live. Since you've asked, I see no reason why we can't check. Let's take a look. Oops, I mistyped here. So Frog with a party hat was banned on the 15th after 4 timeouts. And let's see. He says that I have Alzheimer's. I sold Jasper into slavery.
Oink, 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 I'm a pig. The pig with the hat. Oink, 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 oink. Oink, 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 oink.
Let's see here. What else did he say? Let's see, what else are insulting things? So let's see. Should I unban this guy? I mean, it seems very trustworthy, right? It seems to me like a guy who would say those kinds of things, there's no chance that he would possibly say those again. I mean, let's face it, he learned his lesson, right? He never in a million years would this guy come back in here and possibly say anything that would be, like, insulting or against the rules or try to start drama. You know, this guy, obviously, it seems to me, he's learned his lesson. And if we let him in here, obviously, he's going to become, immediately, he's going to become an upstanding citizen who's going to abide by all the rules, alright? And a major contributor to the conversations. You know, I think this is a home run. This is definitely the kind of person that I want to let back into my chat, simply because they sent me $1. I mean, let's face it, that $1 proves their maturity level is off the charts.
So if it was $10, would that be able to? Is that like the minimum buy-in? Is it 20? Is it 30? Because that's what it's implying. It's It almost. He really is implying that if there was probably a 0 behind that 1, he might take this a bit more serious, which would be bribery, right? Which is supposed to be against the rules of Twitch TOS. But then again, didn't he say the exact same thing to King Tut when Tut was like, "Hey, if I donate X amount of money, can I get a shirt?" And he said, well, we got okay, well, we have to wait like a month, or no, I think he said he had to wait 2 months to see if these donations clear, and if so, and it all comes out legit, then he would send him a shirt. But wait a second, now that I think about it, he said, if I'm correct, he's told Tut that it would take 2 months to see if all those tips, or not tips, I think all those cheers clear. And if they did clear in 2 months, he would talk to them behind the scenes, and he would autograph and probably send them a shirt. But doesn't he get paid by the cheers and everything like that within 30 days? Or the following month, I should say? I'm going to have to go back and look at that now. I am curious.
No! You can't come back, asshole.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
You want to come back, make a new account, and don't tell anyone that it was you. And you know, start over, fresh. Rimrep says, why do you call donations contributions? Because they're not donations. There's a distinct legal difference between a donation and a contribution. A donation is something that you do, that you would give without any kind of expectance of, like, profit to be gained. So
yeah, Snort Burnell is right. Somebody must have reached out to him. More than likely, one of his, like, the Twitch PO officer or something must have reached out to him behind the scenes to tell him to stop that. Because he's not the only person to say that. There's a couple of chicks on Twitch who have who had to change their wording too. They turned it from initially it was for donations. I can't remember what they were saving up for, but those donations end up turning into like contributions or whatever. I can't remember why they reworded it. So Phil must have gotten slapped up in that dragnet too. At the end of the day, it's still a donation, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the whole legal definition of it. It still is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I think really because I know what he means. It's obviously he's not a non-profit, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. But still. And now that I think about it, it makes you wonder. Do you think he really reports? He says he has to report his tips, right? But what about cheers and bits? And what about what about when he's tipped behind the scenes that isn't publicly accessed? I wonder exactly how much he actually is paying in taxes now, or to specify, what is he actually paying his taxes on? Because you got to think he's getting, like, with the whole Amazon wish list, right? That kind of throws everything for a loop a little bit on how that works out. Because it is still money. It's coming through, it's formatted in a different way, but it's still money. And someone has to pay taxes on that. Unless it's gifted to them. Because I don't think you have to pay taxes on a gift. Like, what I mean by a gift, I mean like, for example, if your grandmother sent you like $2,000 for your birthday and shit, you wouldn't have to pay taxes on that. There are like corporate gifting that certain organizations don't have to pay taxes on, but it's classified as a gift, not a donation. I don't know. I'm gonna have to delve into that. Now that I think about it, because that was one of the. I remember talking to a few of you in the chat and on Twitter that a lot of you thought this was the new tax scheme, was to go through with the gift to what was the Amazon wish list, which is kind of seems like how it's shaping up. But now that I also think about it, think about all of the credits, game credits he was gifted before the Amazon wish list became a thing. Did he pay taxes on that too? I don't know. Very interesting. It's amazing. We're gonna have to see where the pig sloth takes us.
For example, if you donate to a charity, that charity is taking the money and or the goods that you donate and putting it towards, say, helping the homeless or feeding someone who's hungry, okay? What you give to me is a contribution or a tip, because this is considered taxable income by the United States government.
Now, wait a second. Couldn't you theoretically consider yourself as a charitable cause? Can't you legally do that? Just curious. Just this is all just this is just all this is me just digging a bunch of holes and whatnot. That's all this is. I'm just curious now.
And it's considered very different Alright? Obviously, if you're giving me money, it's for profit. It's for me to buy other things for the business. It's for me to buy food and put clothes on my own body. You know, that's what the money's for. And everyone knows that. Or to pay my bills, you know, pay all my back debt and bills or my taxes.
Wait, if that's the case, wouldn't he be able to write some of that stuff off as business expenses? Now that I think about it, I think I know at least a few of you have brought this up. Is that what the Amazon wish list is considered? Like, and everything on it? Is all of that considered necessities for the business, and in turn all of that can be written off even if it's all been gifted? Because if any of you guys remember an old Axe the King, Tevin actually went over that, so you can find it on Tevin's channel, on one of the two channels, where they were asking him how he does his taxes, and he itemizes everything, obviously, and because he writes off everything he writes off everything, like that, like his, that's why he calls it an office / studio, because there's some type of deduction for that. He deducts he deducts a certain portion. If not, he's tried to deduct probably all of it. His energy usage, his phone line, all that stuff he's trying to write off his business expenses. Now that I'm bringing all that up, I want you guys to walk with me for a minute. Not because I actually need to go for a walk, but you know, we enjoy each other's company, so you guys can walk with me on this. You guys remember when Phil said that he owed back business and occupation tax, yeah? And he said that he doesn't qualify for that, so he shouldn't have to pay for it. We all know this. I should do a gout and wine on it, though, to refresh all of us. But we all know this. But how was it that you were making business deductions on your taxes, but you felt that you didn't have to pay a business and occupation state tax? So he was getting all the deductions for years, even before he moved to Washington State, but he thought he didn't have to pay the tax for being his own personal business, for basically running his own business? How the fuck does that make sense? I don't know why I'm thinking about it now, but that shit's starting to trigger something now. I'll have to wait and see what you guys think about that. I'm gonna have to look into that further. I feel like there's some pork chops afoot. We just need some applesauce. All we need is the applesauce.
Or whatever it may be. That's different than saying, oh, give this for charity. And a donation implies giving to charity. Alright? That's why I call them contributions or tips, not donations. If other streamers call them donations, they can do that, but they're doing the wrong thing. Legally in the United States, well, if you were to contribute to any live streamer like this, it is not considered a donation whatsoever. Okay? Overnight, we start off with Star Wars Pizza, who tipped me $1 and said, why did you get so mad that one time we were playing Battlefront 2 and the chat started talking about pizza? I have no idea. First of all, Battlefront 2 was, what, 2 years ago? I think? I don't even know. But I certainly could not tell you. This is what I mean. Like, people are like, what's your favorite of this? What was your favorite moment of that? What about this happened? I don't remember.
My brain's not what it used to be, guys. My Alzheimer's is kicking in. You know, I gotta go take my Metamucil later so I can, you know, I can make a bowel movement. So, you know, I'm getting old here. I can't remember things as well. So I apologize that I had a brain fart there.
I can't, you're trying to get me to remember a single moment in 11 years that every day I've been here streaming. I can't remember a time I got angry about pizza while playing Star Wars Battlefront 2. So
wait. So we can't remember what some random reference from being upset at pizza, which I think, don't quote me, but I do remember like a conversation coming up about authentic pizza that's made in Italy, obviously, and compare it to what's made in the United States. I don't know if that was the argument, but I do remember that coming up. He doesn't remember anything about this pizza conversation, despite the fact that his infatuation with food outweighs anything else in his life almost. Even Trump's cat, or Catherine, if you will. But he can remember about some alleged scheme, some boiler room type bullshit that Tevin may or may not have been involved with 2 or 3 years ago? Wow. Who's stalking who? Give Tevin some space, Phil. Give Tevin some space. Praise be.
Thank you for the $1 tip, whoever this is, but I have no idea what the hell you're referencing, and I wish that I could tell you, it was because of this. I have no idea. I really have no concept of what you're talking about, okay? Alright, let us continue. Vash7342 did a 50-bit cheer. and says, watch out with the Street Fighter tonight, because we all know it's Evil AJ 2010 who stream snipes you every time you play that game. He did it last week. He was the guy that keeps playing you in Super Turbo and some Third Strike games. I don't think he played me in Third Strike. At least if he did, it didn't say Rugal Bernstein. It was a different account. But I don't think he played me in Third Strike, did he? I wasn't even aware that the guy plays Third Strike. I know he plays Super Turbo. And honestly, actually, I was enjoying playing him for a while because I was trying to learn the matchup. I was playing with Dalsim, and I'm not great with Dalsim.
Wait, isn't this Mr. I know every single thing about Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo? That is my game. That is my forte. This is my profession. Despite the fact that he never won an EVO. I don't give a fuck about no EVO qualifiers, ladies and gentlemen. He never won an EVO. Okay? When it came time, he can win all the qualifiers all he wants, but when it was time to go to the big dance, he fell short. Period. But it's funny how he says that he knows all the ins and outs of the game. He knows everything. There isn't anything that he hasn't seen before that he can't deal with. And yet, to be honest, if any of you guys have seen the Evil AJ video, you should watch it. It's an absolutely amazing. Evil AJ basically toys with him. Now there are some. Now don't be wrong. I think Phil may have squeezed out maybe one match, maybe two, maybe three, but he squeezed out a couple matches. Let's be honest. But when Evil AJ was really getting into his bag, he was telling Phil, he's like, "Do something else. You're boring me. Force me to play you seriously." That's insulting. Especially if anybody has followed the FGC for any period of time, especially back in Phil's day. That's rather insulting. Phil has told stories of people getting run out of arcades for shit like that. So, just curious. Just wondering. It's supposed to be his forte, ladies and gentlemen. His bread and butter. That's why all other Street Fighters since Super Turbo have fell short. And they're all kiddie games, and they're all for losers who don't have any real skill, who don't understand the basics, don't have any of that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you can't play Super Turbo at even a modest level, then everything else that you play that you succeed at means nothing. His words, not mine.
I was trying to learn the matchups against him, and even though he was winning a lot, I was actually starting to learn. I was like, oh, okay, this is what you do here, this is what you do here. You know, I was actually starting
playing this game for over 20 years, and we're just now trying to figure out what's going on with Dawson. Despite the fact that didn't John main him, or that was one of John's mains for a while? And how many matches have you had with John and Howard? Wow.
Learn the matchups to some extent, which was a good thing. But I agree, you get tired of it. Right? You absolutely get tired of the same fucking guy every fucking match. Especially because the guy only plays with 3 characters and he's a button masher.
This shocks me.
He literally uses every online cheesy strategy to mash throws when it's not even timed well. He just walks forward and mashes buttons to try to get a throw in a lag. It's pretty stupid.
Wait, so how are you learning the matchup if all the guy does is mash and go for throws? Which is funny because that's what he tried to do in 4. That's what he does in 5. That's what he does in Third Strike. But Evil AJ is the button masher who provides nothing online. Yet he did say that he was trying to learn the matchup, right? And he actually didn't have really a problem playing him because he was learning from him. We learning from button mashers now? I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Not to say that people don't do that in the real game too, just it doesn't work as effectively because there's no lag. So it is what it is. If I play him a few times tonight, great, but you're right. If I end up playing the same guy all fucking night, like I said already on pre-stream, I don't know how viable it is for me to keep playing the collection, because I don't want to play the same 2 people, or the same matchup. Like I said, every person I fought in Third Strike was a fucking Urian player. Like, dude, enough with Urian. I'll play anyone but Urian. Give me any other character but fucking Urian to fight.
Is this the same idiot who runs to Ken when he needs a win? Just saying. When Phil needs a win, he runs to Ken. Right? Right? Just saying, because I've seen that Hugo get bodied. I've seen his Ryu get bodied, or Ryu, however you want to pronounce it. I've seen some characters that he's played get bodied hard, and he always runs back to Ken. Just wonder, just want to throw it out there.
So I guess we'll see.
Around the mid-2000s, I was a figurehead in the Street Fighter community on the East Coast. A lot of people trusted me to be an authority on games like Super Turbo. I ran major tournaments like the East Coast Championships, as well as many other smaller tournaments in the New York, Connecticut, New Jersey area. and became well known as a well-respected figure on the East Coast for about 3-4 years there.
Really? You mean despite the fact that there's a clear track record of you bitching and complaining about losses that you took, or how brackets were not set up favorably, or certain people getting buys or being floated, right? And you being matched up with certain people too early in tournaments. I know, that's lore that people have to go up and dig up. But, I mean, well-respected, well-regarded, what? When John and Howard are still considered respected higher than you. Just on a personality type situation. What? You think just because you won a couple of qualifiers that meant anything to anybody? Huh? Whatever it takes to put one hoof in front of the other. No, whatever. let him have it. Well respected. Amazing. But won't go back though. Won't go back to Evo though, right? Won't go ahead and show his face and allow some of the old timers, some of those from his time period, no disrespect, you know, hey, look at this dark side Philly, and won't do any of that. Don't want no parts of none of that. Got a whole new generation, got 2 generations, if you will, who now look at Phil and only have heard about him from hearsay. Some of it's right, some of it's wrong, or at least the majority of it's wrong, and is considered widely as a laughingstock. Yeah. And the few people, probably, I want to just say it's really just Arturo. And Arturo's a pretty good dude, so I can kind of understand why. But I would say really it's just Arturo. But let's say there's 3 people who may still pull for Phil in the FGC and who want him to still be somewhat recognized for what he did. His personality shits on all of that. And the fact that he had to take a stab at a inferior port. He put all of his time and effort into this inferior port of Super Turbo and entered into Evo that year because he was following people on, because he was on SRK himself. And he heard all the bigger guys, all the people who were a threat to him, were not going to participate in the tournament, try to boycott it, so on and so forth. So he thought, uh-oh, easy first place win at Evo. Because when you have a first place win at Evo, when you've won Evo in your particular game, you're stamped in the books. Okay? You're there. No one can ever remove you. By hook or by crook, you are there. And he thought, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get mines. Until Japan showed up and ate that ass. Roasted pork butt, you know what I'm saying? Pork lo mein, you know what I mean? All that. Cooked him up and just had a good old time with him. And he took 4th. He took 4th. In a port that these other 3 players didn't really even know much about, but through just superior intellect and understanding of game mechanics, they beat that ass. They beat that ass. And the only thing that he had was to go back to SRK, SureYouCan.com, and say, I am the number 1 number 1 ranked Super Turbo player. Oh, God. Oh, it hurts the soul just to say it. It hurts the soul just to say it. Oh, my Christ. You know what? I need a shot. I'll be right back.
Vincent cheered again. He says, why can't we have Catherine full body and Nino Kuni on direct capture? Catherine full body, I've explained a million times. I'll explain it again. Alright? I don't like Catherine, the gameplay. I like the story, and I liked the anime cutscenes. I hated the gameplay of Catherine. I despised it. I did not like the puzzles at all.
Like, to me, this game is work. To me, this is like, I have to really work my butt off to fucking succeed, and I don't want to do that. I want to have fun. This early on, this is not fun. This isn't fun. It's work. That's what they made it. The game is work. It's not fun. It's work.
That was like not my cup of tea. I struggled the entire time I played Catherine. I didn't like it whenever I had to do the gameplay. I was like, man, give me a cutscene. Let me go to the diner. Let me interact. Let's see how the story fleshes out. But then we would go to the puzzles. I was like, I don't like the gameplay of it. You know? it's essentially you're asking me to go back and play Street Fighter V for the 400th time when I told you guys I don't like it. Same thing with Catherine. I don't want to go back and torture myself with gameplay I know I don't enjoy.
But he'll play it though if you pay him to do it, like a good hoe.
I'd rather do other stuff. So the answer there is a no. I'm not going to be going back and playing Catherine. Okay. Excuse me, that was the burp that I talked about earlier on pre-stream that was stuck in my chest. It finally came out. Oh my god, that was disgusting. I'm sorry, guys, but at least it came out. Oh my god. Oh, I actually feel...
You guys enjoying the kitty humor? Is it treating you all well? Good. Now, I decided, no shot. We're not doing that. Instead, I'm doing screwdrivers. So, I made a picture. You guys go ahead and pass it around. Have your take. And so on and so forth. Because it is a work day, of course. I'm not going with... we're going at basically a 3-to-1 ratio. You know, you guys got work to do today, right? We all do. So, you know. But go ahead and pass it around. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys like it. So there's a splash of grapefruit juice in there, too. If you guys haven't tried that, you should. It's actually pretty good. Here we go.
Relieved now. I do. Like, I feel like the gas has been free.
That's terrible. That's such a terrible thing.
Darth Tonius did a 59-bit cheers. Did you ever play in Super Turbo tournaments? You're pretty good. Yes, I did. Essentially, I played in Street Fighter tournaments starting in the late 90s for games like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. And I really loved those games. And even though I was a top player in Marvel vs. Capcom 1, I really jumped into the competitive scene at the very end of the game's life cycle. So really, it was all about Marvel 2. I was good at the game, but I was never a top competitor. I would go to, like regional qualifiers, like East Coast Championships and the like, and I would do all right. I would usually make, like, top 20, but I would never really get past that.
Now, let's talk about those money matches, though, Phil, where you ain't sat there and lost all that bread. $200 here, $200 there, $1,000 here. How about we talk about that? Let's talk about that sweet, sweet cash that you ended up losing. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Just saying.
It's a shame because I think Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, but I just never got to the level where I could be a top performer. But I was a huge shit talker, that's for sure. Then, during that time period of the early 2000s, I realized I think I liked more straight-up fighting games than the more cartoony, action-based, you know, tag in and out, wave dashing kind of games that the Marvel series was. So I started playing games like Capcom vs. SNK 2, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Incidentally, I think Super Turbo was the one I liked the most, and that's the oldest game in the series.
I don't know about you guys, right? But I am a diehard fan of Capcom vs. SNK 2. Like, I love that game. I love the first one too, but I love that game, and I always hoped that there'd be a third. Never did, or doesn't mean that they won't, but I mean, just never have. But I don't even want that. I don't even want a third. I want an online version of Capcom vs. SNK 2. Now, the only shortcoming to any of that is roll cancel. It's not exactly the easiest thing to do, and once you have it, it kind of makes shit silly. But it's still situational, if you will. But I would certainly enjoy playing that. I would certainly enjoy playing Capcom vs. SNK 2 if they ever bring it out online. I don't know if they will or not. I'd like to think that if they were going to, they'd have done it by now. But you never know. But I really hope they do. I really, really hope they do. I'm still holding out that they will. Oh boy.
That's the original game that put Street Fighter on the map and made it the staple for competitive gaming. Fighting gaming, I should say. So, over the years, I played the shit out of it at every tournament I could get my hands on it, you know, on Arcade Cabinet. I played the various console versions of it. And then, out of the blue, at EVO 2005, I don't even remember anymore. I think it was EVO 2005, I got 4th place.
Oh my god!
In the entire tournament. And the top 3 placers were Japanese. I beat all the American players that year at the game to basically become the top-ranked American that year. Of course, there was tons of controversy.
Now, let's be honest, not all of the who's who were there. For the American side of it. Like I said, a lot of people boycotted it. A lot of them had their issues and whatnot. The ones who were there, yes, he ended up at least playing a couple of them anyway, and whatnot, to take 4th. To take 4th. None of that shit means anything. Who you beat to take 4th place means nothing. It really doesn't. Because no one ever says, oh, I took 4th. They just are like, I made top 8. But this guy said 4th. and then had the nerve to throw on the stipulation that, oh, I was the #1 ranked Super Turbo player. It's never been said before that. Never in any of my research and in that nonsense, I've never heard anybody say it before that. In any game. Only Phil Burnell, DSP, Darkside Phil would come up with that. Wow.
Because that was the first year that EVO adopted console versions of games over arcade. Everyone complained that the console version of Super Turbo wasn't valid. It wasn't.
And it wasn't. It was buggy. It was bullshit. That's the only reason why you took fourth.
To the arcade. So then the next year in 2006, I proceeded to win EVO East, which was the East Coast qualifier for EVO, in the latest version of Super Turbo, which was called Anniversary Edition. Then I traveled.
Wasn't a great version either, but it wasn't certainly as bad as that fucking PS1 piece of garbage.
Country, going to every qualifier and winning all the qualifiers and or placing top 3 in every qualifier that I touched. So I pretty much proved that it wasn't a fluke in 2005, that I could hang
until he got up into that hotel room and they were like, Super Turbo cabinet, let's see what you got. And he lost. He lost bad. And he made all kinds of excuses like, oh, I had just played in the tournament beforehand, and I've been, you know, dealing with the whole thing out there in the ballroom all day and shit. And then these guys wanted to play me, and it wasn't fair, and no, because I was really tired and I was exhausted. See, that's the reason why he couldn't win EVO. He couldn't win EVO because he didn't have it in him. He didn't have it in him. He wasn't good enough. You think what he was going through is any less taxing than any other competitor out there? He sounds like what early Smash players were talking about only a couple years ago, until they cleaned that shit up. Oh yeah, we should all have our own little personal spot where we can kind of lounge around and chill. No fighting game community ever had it before them. But Smash wanted it. Now keep in mind, Smash still has to fight for the right to be called a fighting game. But these guys, some of these guys I should say, not the community as a whole, but some of these guys wanted a personal spot so they could go ahead and lounge and chill with. And isn't some people in that Smash community fighting off alleged rape? We're not going to talk about that, because that doesn't represent the community as a whole. It just doesn't look very good. And then again, there's all kinds of other grimy shit that comes out of that community. The point being is, if no one ever really said it before you, in certain circumstances, maybe there's a reason why it's not said. There is no special stipulations in a tournament atmosphere. You deal with what you deal with. It is what it is. The tournament isn't just the physical aspect of sitting down and playing multiple people and going through multiple tactics and trying to weave out all the different outcomes and so on and so forth. But it also comes down to the mental exercise that comes with it too. That is being in a ballroom. That's in with a lot of noise. That's with a lot of people talking shit. There's a lot of stuff that plays into it. It's more physical than mental. And Phil usually cracks under those circumstances. Especially because, as he admitted, he likes talking that hot shit. Until we get into the money matches, though. Then what happened? What happened, Phil, when you had to do those first to 10s? Those first to 7s? Those first to 10s? What happened to those type of situations? How much money did you have to pay up? And more importantly, how many of those bets did you welch on? And you ran. Just saying. Just saying. He never covered all of his bets. I'm just going to throw it out there.
No matter what version of the game I play, okay? Then, in 2007, I did it again. There was another new version of Super Turbo. This one was called Capcom Classics Collection 2 on the PlayStation 2. And this version, again, I won EVO East, and I was placing or winning at all the qualifiers all over the country. But then in 2007, I got burnt out.
Yet again, we're seeing a pattern. We're winning a bunch of qualifiers, but we're not actually winning EVO. I'm just saying. EVO qualifiers are EVO qualifiers. But we're not actually winning the dance, though. And this isn't as it was then, as it should be now. There is no little trophies for participation. When it comes to the big dance, you didn't win. The one time that you went, you didn't win. And that's what people remember. You keep talking about, oh, people want to discount me, and you know, my qualifier wins are out there. Yes, they are. And they are actually rather easy to find, too, by the way. There is no hiding it. No one's trying to bury it. The thing is his claim to fame is that 4th place finish at the big dance. That's what his claim to fame is. That's what he put the emphasis on. Not the qualifiers. He does that now because that's all he has. Because that 4th place finish just sounds stupid after over a decade. Just saying. Oink.
Said, man, I've been doing this basically as my hobby and my major focus of sinking money and time into it for like 8 or 9 years. And honestly, I didn't really feel like I was getting much out of it. At the same time, I was diagnosed with a major back injury, so I wasn't really able to travel as much anymore because my back was screwed up. And I said, I need to kind of reevaluate what I want to do as my life and my free time, because I don't think that the Street Fighter thing's working out. So
now, this is where things get a bit cloudy. Now, what was the reason, or what was it that ran Phil out of the FGC? Because make no mistake about it, Phil was ran out. Kinda, sorta. Phil had basically fucked with the wrong people. Multiple on just about every coast. He's pissed off at least a couple of people. Is that the reason why he ended up leaving the FGC? No. But he certainly pissed off a shitload of people. So it gives one probable cause. Then we're going around taking people's footage and putting it on your YouTube channel and monetizing it. Not all tournament organizers knew about that situation, but that eventually became a problem. And so on and so forth, being that he's making money off of other people's intellectual properties. It wasn't like he was just filming his matches. He was filming, or it wasn't like he was just filming the matches of his friends. He was trying to get all the big matches and putting it up on his YouTube channel because he knew he could get the hits quicker than everybody else because he could get it out faster. And he was hyping it up on his channel anyway. Most people weren't hip to that right away. People were actually, back in those days, were actually really just trying to go for the wins. That's where your clout was. There's a bunch of different things that ended up running him out. Whatever it really was that ended up getting him out of the FGC, we'll never know. Only Phil Burnell and the tiny voice in his head that tells him he's great at everything those are the only two entities that know for sure. Nobody will ever really know what it was that ran his ass out. Whatever it was, to my personal opinion, it was scary enough for him to hightail it out while the getting was good. Yet again, I don't think we'll ever really know. Maybe it's not even worth knowing. But it was something. At the end of the day, it was something. Like I said, we may never know though. But trust me, he made his fair share of enemies for some of the just dumbest reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like just some of the dumbest reasons. You know? And for whatever reason, I don't know what's it like over there in Bridgeport, Connecticut, but he must have really thought people are soft, I guess. I guess he thought people were soft. So he could just call them out on the internet and think nothing's going to happen in the real. I don't know. The FGC at that time was definitely the wrong time to do that shit. I wish, and you guys might be able to find this if you guys know who he is. There's a guy named Noel Brown, right? And he ended up de-jawing somebody, or he tried to, a couple years ago for the guy heckling him at a local and whatnot. Like that shit was memed all up. Like that shit actually got that shit was like trending, like was like the top video on World Star Hip Hop for a long ass time. You know what I mean? A long ass time. Like there's a lot of dudes that just don't have patience for that type of shit. So consider yourself lucky, but then Phil was gonna get manhandled a few times. And if it wasn't for other people stepping in, who knows where he'd be at today. To be honest with you, my own personal opinion, not that I wish violence on him, but maybe an ass kicking or two back in those days, he might have been a different man today. I use the term man loosely, though. DSP News.
Instead of traveling constantly for Street Fighter, I decided to start getting re-immersed into console games, and I did that for about 1.5 years, and then I started making YouTube videos in 2008, and the rest is history. So there's a brief summary of my history as a competitive fighting game player. A lot of people in the modern era don't like me for various reasons and literally try to hide the fact that I was good at fighting games. They'll say that every tournament I ever won, even though there's, like, not even kidding, probably like 30 or 40 tournaments that I placed well in or won in Super Turbo, they'll say, oh, none of those are valid. Oh, okay. 40 times, none of them are valid. You know, I can say, oh, 1 or 2 times is a fluke. 5 to 10 times, all right, maybe you got lucky. 40 times, they're invalid. Okay, whatever you say.
I've got this aftertaste in my mouth. Ugh. That just, it's not going away. It's a lingering saltiness in my mouth.
And see, that's what Phil's real legacy is. Like, Phil talked to you about this YouTube shit and all this bullshit. No one gives a fuck. The FGC is where he wanted to cement himself. Because it actually does mean something in the FGC. Or at least it would have if he could have gotten that first place finish. Even though it's a shitty ass port and no one would have ever given no real respect to it, if he had first, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But he couldn't even do that. He couldn't even do that in a very scumbag type of move. You know what I mean? Putting all of his piglets in a fucking basket, in a blanket, to make that shit happen, to try to make that shit work. And that's one of the things that probably eats at him day in, day out. That he'll never ever get that recognition. He'll never ever be looked at as someone, at least in the area of Super Turbo, that'll be held in high regard. He might be considered what's the word I'm looking for? I'm thinking a noteworthy, like an honorable mention, maybe. And I'm probably giving him too much on that. He might get that type of status, but he'll never get anything above that at all, unless people really go out of their way for him. And even then, he'll be too scared to show up. So why give accolades to a coward? Just saying. He tried to cheat his way. Not really cheat, but he tried to scumbag his way to first place in a shitty port. Do you really need to recognize somebody like that? Something to think about.
That is just not very pleasant.
And he says that people, you know, try to discount that, this, that, and the third. When he said that he was the #1 ranked Super Turbo player, he discounted everything else that came before that and after that. That's what he was known for. After, no one cared. And the reason why no one cared is because he didn't care. He put the emphasis on that tournament, that year, that 4th place finish, to be his end-all, be-all. Everything else after that doesn't mean shit anyway. Because he couldn't think in the long term. He wanted what he wanted right then and there. He couldn't get it. So he took the next best thing. From the 4th place spot, no less. From the 4th place spot.
We just received, there's just a $1.30 tip from Americanized Frog, who said, "You're such the American dude, know the American frog." He's an American frog. Yeah, an American frog.
Anything for this, right?
Shit, I can't type. Americanized Frog. He's the American frog. Oh, the American frog. He's coming to your town. He's sucking flies right down. He's the American frog. All right, thank you.
Cliffy Bureau did a 201-bit cheer. That makes Cliffy Bureau the top cheer of the day. He says, "How much do you have to cheer to rub my face in that glorious goatee?" That's disgusting. Oh my god. Ah! That is absolutely disgusting. And I don't want to ever hear that ever again, Cliffy Bureau, but thank you for the top cheer. For some reason, my hands feel sticky. I don't know why. Now, are you the guy Chew said, "You're the guy and I'm watching your Twitch"? Okay then. I'm gonna go. Oh, I know why. My PS3 controller, because I cleaned it this morning. Before I started streaming, it was very dirty because it's been sitting on the floor for a while. And I probably got shit all over my hands. I gotta go wash them. All I'm gonna do is run and wash my hands and then we're gonna get started.
Wait.
Okay?
Wait. I cleaned my PS4 controller because it's been sitting on the floor and it's all dirty and nasty. Because I cleaned it, I got shit all over my hands. But what about so, just the controller, that whole story aside, right? What about the floor? What about the room as a whole? That his controller's so gross because of his environment that we can't take steps to fix that up? I thought Catherine, like, you know, his wife, Catherine, I thought she took pride in having a clean house. The fuck is she doing? I don't know. Just because she got wifed up doesn't mean that the soulmate thing doesn't apply, right, Phil? Right, Phil? She takes pride in that stuff. That's why she didn't mind. Right, Phil? That's what you told us. She's slacking. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Alright. Now, wait a minute. The angry grandpa just tipped me $1, and so with all these donations, you finally have enough money to make Project 7 the movie. That's absolutely ludicrous. I had $25 in tips. You realize that I spent, no lie, thousands of dollars making Project 7, right? It's true.
What an anomaly I fucking am. How many people have disappeared from YouTube or Twitch over the years that have been doing it as long as I have, and I've been able to keep doing it?
That right there is no different. That right there, what you just heard. That whole thing about other people have disappeared from YouTube and Twitch, and I'm still here and I'm still doing it. That right there is merely the modern day version of his 4th place finish at Evo. His number 1 ranked American player is Super Turbo, or his highest, or the highest ranking American player is Super Turbo. That's what the new modern day thing is. Isn't that pathetic? Isn't that sad? Grasping at nothing. At absolutely nothing. And what is this here? Cat scam to pay, to pay pig. That's funny. Good shit.
So it's the same idiot, so you know what? I don't want to waste my time. It's just a fucking waste of time. Playing the guy who's just gonna fucking stand there. This is the problem. I'm a troll, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand still and not even push a button. You're so cool, dude.
Now remember, he's never rage quit ever in his life. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. He never rage quit ever in his life. So yeah, we can just add that to the rest of them.
You're so cool. All right, we'll play Third Strike Dead. I can't find anyone in Super Turbo right now. Pretty weird that in 2019 we still don't have an option for fighting games to make it so that if someone's doing stupid shit like that and not playing, that you could like, block them so you don't play them. You can't even do that. There's no option. So people could just sit there and troll you all night and you can never get a match in. Wow, that's really intelligent thinking there, Capcom. Oh wait, Capcom didn't even make this game. They paid another shitty third-party company to make it on their behalf because they're lazy.
So it's still Capcom's fault because they're lazy, right? Whatever.
Naked children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. That I just can't help it. By eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you.
That's so sad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more video left in the broadcast, and I'll see you guys literally in just a second.
No decency.
This is how to play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
For those who are not...
You know, it's funny. For someone who's supposed to be the honest gamer and who just wants to play games and have fun, he does a lot of meme-ish type shit. Either which way. That might be just a screwdriver talking. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the last video of the broadcast. Snort Burnell, DSP. Opinions on Twitch inequality drama. Oh boy. Here we go.
The Rageathon is an upcoming marathon event that we're going to be doing in this month. Alright, it's going to happen by the end of this month, probably right before the horror games hit on the final day of August. I probably will be doing my Rageathon right about then, alright? You guys have been nominating and voting on games for the Rageathon all month long. And finally we have a determination on what games will be in the Rageathon. In no particular order, because I actually don't remember the order of popularity. The games are as follows. World of Warcraft, The Elder Scrolls 4 Morrowind, okay, Crash Team Racing, Street Fighter V, and Ninja Gaiden Black, okay? Now the thing is, with World of Warcraft, I know for a fact that, obviously, I'm not going to be paying for a ton of monthly subscription time or anything like that. And I believe the core game, the base game, is free, right? You can download the game, it's just that you have to pay for the monthly subscription or whatever. Now, I did a free trial of it years ago, alright? Years and years ago, when I actually tried to play it for a stream, and it didn't work because the trolling happened, and I think that's why people voted it for the Rageathon. They want to see people come and try to troll me again on the stream for about 90 minutes, okay? And undoubtedly, that's exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be a bunch of trolls coming in and messing with me for like an hour to 90 minutes, okay?
Oh my god!
And I guess then the question is World of Warcraft Classic free, or is it hopefully relatively inexpensive? Alright, you know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping that it's not like, I'm not paying $30, $40 for this fucking thing, okay? Just being very honest with all of you. I'm not breaking the bank here to buy a game, which is why it was funny that people were like nominating Fire Emblem. I was like, no, I'm not spending $60 on a fucking RPG I'm gonna play for an hour and never play again. That's just stupidity, and that's why that wasn't even eligible, okay?
He was a dumbass for skipping that game in the first place. That game could have been incredibly lucrative, and he's an idiot. What more can I say? He's a fucking dumbass for that. And especially since he has an audience for it. But he knows the business, though. He understands what his fan base wants, so it is what it is. He's willing to do what his fans want him to do. So, you know, except for that, as well as other things.
So, you know, let's see, I guess. We now have over a week to try to figure out exactly how this is going to go down. Okay? And go from there. You know, there's a lot of interactive streams coming up where I'm sure people will be now talking with me about it and saying, oh, I recommend this, I recommend that. So that's good. Let's talk it out, let's figure it out. I see some people are saying both Morrowind and Ninja Gaiden Black are available on Xbox One as backwards compatible games. If that's the case, great. Sounds good to me. Sounds like a plan. Sounds like exactly what
that whole thing sounds like a snooze fest. Outside of Street Fighter V, that whole thing sounds like garbage. Hot garbage. So that's just a waste of time there. So rip on that. To be honest with you. Rageathon 2019 is going to be a flop before it ever even happens.
To do that, okay? Also, 4 hours ago, Infinite 55 did a 1,000-bit cheer. Alright, now that is awesome. Thank you very much, Derek. Derek, what the... I failed. I failed because people are now making a running joke that Derek comes to streams. And I saw some people talking about Derek earlier, and it stuck in my head. And now
it's funny, because if he wasn't watching Detractor content, he wouldn't actually know that. So, yeah, it's funny how that's a thing. Oh, well. I'm sure it's just one big piggy coincidence.
I said thank you to Derek, and Derek's not even involved here. I've made a horrible mistake. And I'm massively embarrassed for it. Then Mikey GTR did a 100-bit cheer and said, real talk, pick games that we want to watch. This will produce more viewers and more contributions. Games like Madden are a dud. Actually, Mikey GTR, I hate to tell you this, because you are very mistaken. Alright, I'm sorry, you just are. I'm not trying to be a jerk here. Number one, it's pretty much impossible these days to figure out what games people want to watch. Because a lot of the times...
This right here is a perfect example of doing it for the few that are already kissing your ass, instead of doing it for the many. To make a long story short.
Get the hype that people want to see. After one session, people realize the games suck, and then they don't want to see them anymore. You know, a lot of the new releases that came out this year that everyone yelled at me I should check out were horrible dud games that, if I had played them within one session, people would have said, wow, that's a horrible dud game, don't play it again, and I've already dropped the money on the game, so I'm screwed over. Like I said, a lot of the games this year that have been the best games were hidden gems. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to do, is play it by ear and play games that I know are consistently interesting for people to watch me play, like Grand Theft Auto or Sly Cooper, stuff like that, as downtime stuff until we get to the really big, high-profile new releases for the next few months that hopefully are good. We don't know if they're going to be, but hopefully they are, and then we can focus on those. Now, what's hilarious here is that he says, oh, well, Madden's a dud. You say it's a dud, and essentially when I played it as a main gameplay stream during the daytime, it did all right at first, and then within a couple sessions, it didn't do well. Well, when I played Madden last week, I'll tell you this, it was a great session. People came out and hung out with me. They were excited to see me try to get the Dolphins to the Super Bowl. It was a chill time where we had a lot of interaction and fun discussion. People were contributing positively. Everything was positive about playing Madden last week. So
does that one instance automatically disregards all the failure that preceded it? Okay, interesting way of doing that. Sounds like some more of that Evo. Sounds like some more of that Evo 2005 still lingering around. Wow.
You personally like the gameplay of Madden. Being here on the stream was a very awesome, positive, and productive stream. So why am I going to drop a game that there's obviously a viewership for, that people are enjoying, just because you personally don't like it and it's not a big AAA release bringing in tons of new viewers? Doesn't mean shit. Like I said, a lot of the times these
coming from the same individual who put the emphasis on AAA games and basing his whole business model around it, and still does, and it's still failing. It wasn't going to be able to sustain itself back then. It certainly proves the point that it can't do it now. And now he's trying a little bit of everything, and it's still not working. We're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and put this into perspective. We're talking about an individual who could pull thousands and thousands of dollars a night, easy, and now is scraping along, getting a couple $100. We're talking about someone who could have 3,000 or 4,000 people on a stream, no problem, didn't appreciate it, didn't give a fuck about it, just like all the money he made. Now, is happy with having 300 or 400 people on the stream. This is how far he's fallen, because he didn't appreciate anything that he had beforehand. He thought he deserved more, and now he's willing to settle for less. Imagine that. DSP News.
I'm playing, they bring in viewers for a day because people just want to see, gee, is the hot new release good or not? And then when they see it's not, they say, okay, fuck this, I'll never tune into this game ever again. Now I'm out of $60, you know? That's kind of how it's been this year. 2019's been the year of duds. And that's just, if anything, it just says that's a symptom of a gaming industry that's over-bloated, and game developers that don't want to take chances or put time and effort into making good games and are only making games just to make a buck.
That's like me, right? That's like me. Minimum effort, minimum money and time involved, maximum profit.
This is what happens. You know, it's sad, but it's true. So I completely disagree with you, Mikey GTR. You might say, oh, well, the Dragon Quest streams and the Blackout streams and the Madden streams don't appeal to me. Therefore, those are terrible streams and terrible games. You should be playing games that appeal to the masses. Except when I play games that appeal to the masses, they end up sucking, and then I have nothing else to play, and I paid a bunch of money for them. So, no, I completely disagree with you.
Everything's got to be about making the almighty dollar.
Recently, Twitch itself, Twitch TV, has come under a lot of criticism, alright? Because, apparently, and I say apparently because I'm not educated on this subject, I only know what I hear. Apparently, people are under the impression that Twitch is not treating its streamers equally. That there are certain streamers that basically are being treated poorly and or unfairly, while other streamers get away with everything. And in particular, they've been saying these female streamers recently have been getting away with so much crap, so much risque stuff.
He knows about all of this, and he's tried very, very hard to avoid all of it. But since he's just a guinea pig anyway, who would expect him to say anything about anything anyway? He's a brainless monkey who just gets experimented on. He's not supposed to have an opinion because he ain't built to have an opinion. That's what that comes down to. So why he feels brave enough to say something about it now makes no goddamn sense. And doesn't he talk about how unfair it is that Dr. Disrespect gets this and Shroud gets this, and well, no, he's actually never brought up Shroud. At least I don't think so. But like Ninja gets this. You know what I mean? He brings up all the big heavy hitters, or at least two of the heavy hitters, and so on and so forth. Tifu a little bit, but I don't think he's actually brought him up yet, or not. You know, and not thoroughly, if you will. But now that some females are coming up, which are probably the most protected species on Twitch. Not actually, let me take that back. Females are not the most protected species on Twitch. The thoughts are. The thoughts are the most protected. He, now all of a sudden he has something to say because it's a big thing, and I guess he believes it's safe to say so. But what happened to Mr. Realist Guy on YouTube? Won't hold his tongue for anybody. Mr. Opinionated. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. What happened to all that? Where was that energy at now? Where was that? The energy he has now, I should say. Let me reword that. The energy that he has now, where was that back then? Gotcha.
Getting more ability and permissions to do stuff and basically suck in money from horny teenage dudes who are idiots and throw their money at these girls.
That's like me.
While guys on Twitch basically have to bend over backwards to get noticed, they have to bust their ass, and they all get punished for doing stuff to terms of service that the girls all get away with it. So apparently there's been some kind of an uproar.
As well as certain guys and or laboratory monkeys who was able to get 3 guys deplatformed. Possibly 4. There's that too. Don't forget about that.
Or some kind of a movement that Twitch is negative now and falling apart at the seams and it's a bad place to stream and everyone should rush over to Mixer, okay? Hilarious that not a single person said let's go to Mixer until Ninja did. Like, Mixer was not even, like, on anyone's fucking radar at all. Now, all of a sudden, Ninja goes to Mixer.
It wasn't the fact that it wasn't on people's radar. It's just no one wants to be first. That's what it comes down to. It's as time goes on, you'll see more and more of that. That you find that those people who used to have guile and used to have initiative. Slowly but surely, they scale it back, especially if you have a name, because you don't want to be that one guy or that one gal who fails by going over there and trying something new, and then have to kind of come back with your tail in between your legs. Despite the fact that most of the big people on Twitch, most keyword, have been banned for multiple reasons because they spoke out because they spoke out either against Twitch or some of the shit that happened on Twitch, and then they came back and they fell in line like nothing else ever happened. It's kind of pathetic, but you know, it is what it is, right?
Everyone jumps on the bandwagon that we should all go to Mixer, right? Funny how that happens. I'm just saying, funny coincidental timing that this all just seemed to magically happen.
But no one said that everybody has to go to Mixer. It just means that it's an option. It's a viable option, if you will. Or it's a lucrative option, if you will. That's what it comes down to. For cucks like Phil to sit there and try to defend Twitch, like, oh, does it make sense all these people are leaving? People like your dumbass should be glad that people are being siphoned away from the platform, because theoretically, you and Gross Gore, for example, because you're both cucks, would have a chance to actually move up. Right? But Gross Gore ain't going to move up because his reputation shit, given all the nonsense he pulled. You can't move up either because your reputation shit too. And the funny thing is like you, he used to be somebody in the gaming community back in the day. He used to be somebody until him and his friend got cucked out of, oh, I don't know, something like $2,000 to fly some groupies out, and then they ended up getting cucked by some announcers or so on and so forth. And then he actually accused one of those like announcers of like fucking with underage girls or something. Sorry, I don't have all the details into that, so we won't delve into that at this particular moment. But he's been knocked off multiple times for harassment, multiple times, and he ended up taking what, like a 2-year ban or some shit over that, something along those lines. But now he wants to come out and white knight for Alinity and for Amaran and all them and shit, and say that for all those people who are leaving Twitch, you guys forgot who made you, this, that, and the third. That's disrespectful. You biting the hand that feeds you, so on and so forth. Yet again, coming from the same individual who got himself kicked off the platform 3 separate times for harassment. So didn't you not bite the hand that fed you multiple times? Now let's talk to Phil. Phil, haven't you been suspended off the platform too for biting the hand that fed your ass? But yeah, we're going to shit on another man for making a decision to help his brand by 2 people don't have brands who are just really known for their infamy. Yeah, whatever. It's a cute pup in a sharp suit. What do I know about any of that, right? Here we go.
Same time. Gee, I wonder. Alright, but anyway, I digress. People have asked me for my opinions on this. You know, the truth of the matter is, guys, there are things here on Twitch that I feel that I am unfairly treated about. You know, the one thing in particular that I have a gripe about.
Whoa. There are things on Twitch that you feel like you're unfairly treated about. We're talking about the situation as a whole, bitch. Not just you. Twitch is bigger than you. You're supposed to be commenting on the situation itself, not you. You address the point, you address the subject matter, and then you segue into your personal experiences before you go into the closing. Not start off with you. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You can go about it either which way. Whatever.
Is that I'm unable to participate in the sponsored streaming program. This is a program that was launched a year ago.
What, you mean be a shill? But I thought shills were just that. Shills who couldn't give their honest opinion on games. And that made them liars. And that also made them a deficit to the gaming community. But didn't you say, though, that if you do a sponsored stream, you're not allowed to say negative things about the game itself? What? Yeah. You're not allowed to do that. You got to be a shill, and you got to be a happy little gamer, and you got to basically go ahead and kiss the game's ass. But I thought you said you're not allowed to do that, though. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought you said that's against your own moral code to do things like that. That's above you. You can't, or that's beneath you, I should say. I'm sorry. You can't do things like that. You have to stay honest no matter what. And there isn't an amount of money out there to make you change otherwise. Now you want to go ahead and lick dick like the rest of them? I mean, you're the one that calls them shills. You're the one that calls them all dick suckers and everything. So I'm just paraphrasing. But now you want to do all that? Now you want to be a hoe? But what about all those people you called shills on Twitter? I know, Phil, I know. It was your depression and so on and so forth. I don't give a fuck about that. But What? But now you want to go ahead and lick dick like the rest of them? Oh wow, how has the mighty have fallen? And for what, Phil? A couple of $100 compared to the thousands upon thousands that other people make? You know, like those pro players, for example, who you say that shill the game and don't really, and they only hang on to it because it's the only thing that they have. But when the bounty system comes around, right, especially during Capcom Cup, and you know, some of those guys can make $7,000 or $8,000 an hour just to play something that they're already passionate about, shills, but that they're already passionate about. Oh, it's unfair that you don't have those options. But didn't he say that Street Fighter V is garbage and straight trash, and everybody who plays it have no skill, have no concept of how fighting games work, and would get fucking tore up in a real fighting game? Interesting. I'm so confused now. I'm so confused. It's amazing. Why would he even consider doing that? Now, one more point before we go ahead and move on, because I'm starting to, kind of just blab along now. Did he not shit on people who were playing State of Decay 2 a week early when he paid money, or he pre-ordered, so he could, no, I'm pretty sure he paid extra money. He had to pay extra money to play the game 4 days early, only to drop the game not long after that? I don't even know if he played it for a full week before he dropped it. But he had the nerve to shit on people who were actual State of Decay, excuse me. He had the nerve to shit on people who were actually State of Decay fans and who were actually part of the State of Decay community. A very large community, by the way. A large enough community that was able to capture his attention, hence the reason why he wanted to play State of Decay 2 early, and was mad that people were able to play it, somewhere along the lines of, a day to 3 days earlier than him, despite the fact that he had to actually pay money to play the game early while they were actually just given the game. And then went ahead and spazzed out on all these people on Twitter? But they can't give honest opinions about the game, and they're all liars, and none of them actually represent, they're one of the reasons why the gaming community is messed up, and the practice is horrible, and this, that, and, but now he wants to participate in something that's really just a derivative, a variation, a variance of that same practice? I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Certain game developers put their games into a listing here on Twitch, and if you were able to qualify for this promotional opportunity, you'd be able to play their game for, say, a couple hours, do a sponsored stream, and actually get paid money for the promotion of their game, okay? And I did this twice last year, and both times the streams, it turned out very well, in my opinion.
Shilling. It's gross.
Very positive representations of the games. But in both cases, my asshole stalker trolls, who have no fucking lives and really are just messed up in the head, went ahead and harassed the living shit out of the game publishers and game developers, saying that this guy, all defamatory and slanderous stuff that's not true, okay? This guy, who's a racist, a pedophile, and a bigot, and someone who's a chronic masturbator on stream in front of thousands of children is playing your game right now on Twitch, and you're paying him to play it. Don't you see how toxic this guy is? And just the fact that he's playing it is going to mean that your game now is represented in a negative light. Now, in reality, everything they said was completely false.
I'm good at lying.
And if you actually watch the promotional streams that I did of these two games, they're incredibly positive and fun.
No one gives a fuck about the streams, though. People give a fuck about the context of who you are as a person. And, idiot, you are the stream. Like, it's weird. It's really, really weird. Because he wants all eyes on him when the stream's going on, right? He wants to be the center of the focus. But then when people bring up the negative aspects of stuff that he's done, all of a sudden, oh, well, don't, it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. It's all about how the stream went. But you're supposed to be the focus of the stream, Phil. Did that get lost in translation? Does that need to be put in subtitles or something?
People in the stream chat were like, wow, these games look pretty interesting and different and good. The streams went well. And if anything, they really did serve as very positive promotional materials for the companies, which is what they wanted out of this, this sponsored stream program. But because of these shitheads going and harassing the fuck out of the game developers and publishers, they went to Twitch and basically said, listen, not that it's Phil, but we got harassed so badly by these people for a couple days just because Phil played our game. We don't want that to happen again.
Now, what's up with the... Now, it's not even what's up with, because he's called out other people for talking in the third person, but that's what he's doing right now. You ever notice that? When he never did anything wrong and other people are commenting on it? You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, we love Phil. Phil never did anything wrong. Phil did great, but we have to get him out of here. Here's the thing, Phil. It's funny for someone who really did nothing wrong and did everything correct and who gets a raw deal and so on and so forth. Why is it that none of them could just stand by you? I want you to think about this for a minute. If any and everything that you say is true, and it's all flammable, just bullshit and lies, and it's horrible, and it's terrible slander, and all this, that, and the third, why would these companies not just take a look at what evidence is presented, come up to a conclusion, and be like, well, despite all that, we're going to stick by this person, and we're going to move forward? Why don't any of them ever seem to have the need or seem compelled to do so? I've always been rather curious about that. If those same people apparently had correspondence with Twitch, which apparently Phil was privy to, and you hear conversations like this where, oh, well, we love Phil, and we know Phil didn't do anything wrong, and we know it's all these shithead losers, but he's gonna have to take the hit. Which is kind of like what happened with Curse. Curse had to drop you because of all these shitheads who kept reporting you hundreds and hundreds of times each day, and the money you were bringing in wasn't the equivalent to the amount of money that they had to pay someone to go through all these false reports on you. But I thought they loved you and your YouTube videos and your content, and they supported you and shit, and yet they still dropped you. Maybe it's just me. It might be just me. Yeah, that's what it is.
Negative shit we don't need, so, you know, we don't want him doing that anymore. You know, not that, again, he did anything wrong, but basically Phil has these assholes who follow him everywhere, and we can't have our social media blown up negatively for 2-3 days just because he played one of our games on a sponsored stream. You know, could you please, you know, make sure that that doesn't happen again? So how's Twitch supposed to do that? Well, the only thing Twitch can do is basically remove me from the program, which is exactly what happened. I got punished.
I want proof. I want proof. I want proof. I want him to show his Twitch, to take a screenshot of his Twitch dashboard where the bounty bulletin board is at, and I want to see all zeros. Or I want to say this section is unavailable because you are ineligible. I want to see a screenshot of that. I want to see a screenshot of that, because that's the only way he can prove that he's been blacklisted from the bounty board. I want to see a screenshot of that. If he don't produce, he's full of fucking shit. Which is, he's full of shit either which way. But that's what I want to see. That's what all of us should want to see. We should want to see proof. If 2019 is the year of debunking, then it's time for him to start showing some cards. To be honest. If he's going to make statements like this, he needs to start producing. Define sniff.
Actions of trolls. I did nothing wrong. Oh my god.
My promotional streams were actually held in very high regard, but because the trolls harassed the fuck out of the game developers and publishers, I've lost all opportunity to ever do that anymore. Alright? I'm not okay with that. I'm not. Like, I'm very, very upset about that, because that's
But
no
you
lie.
being upset don't mean shit, because your word means nothing. So you and your little isolated bubble can be mad all you want, but in the grand scheme of things, if you can't get them on the phone, or if you can't get them through an email to reconsider, guess how irrelevant you are. Womp womp.
Probably 2-3 times a month when I could be doing promotional streams with the games that I play and making lots of extra money that I need to pay my bills and could be helping me out. But instead,
So
I
you
don't
want
have
to be a whore and sell out to the man? And not be able to give your honest opinion about games? What? But I thought that's the reason why you crowdfund. Because those people who are the recipients of your crowdfunding, or sorry, let's reword that. The people who participate in your crowdfunding appreciate you for you and your honest opinions, and they were willing to compensate you for the amount of money that you can't get by being a shill. But it sounds like you want your cake and eat it too. It almost sounds like, ladies and gentlemen, it almost sounds like you people, well, not you people, but the people who fund him through crowdfunding are nothing more than dumbasses who are there to be taken advantage of, and if he can get this money over here too, he'd be willing to do so. So let's say, for example, that Phil was an actual good streamer. Fuck all that. Let's say Phil was an actual decent streamer. And with that being said, could actually garner attention. And could actually grow an audience. And actually be decent at games. Or at least be somewhat entertaining. And who could bring in thousands upon thousands of people onto his streams. So when he did the sponsor streams, he could go ahead and make $4,000 an hour over the span of 3 or 4 hours, if not longer. What's that? Over 4 hours? That's what, $16,000? Would he still request crowdfunding from you guys? Under those conditions? Or, if he, as in his words, if he could do that twice a week, every week, would he go ahead and turn off the bits and donations, or the bits and the cheers on his channel, which he can do? And then the only option you guys would have would be subbing and tipping, because he'd be making all this money through the sponsor streams. Would he do that if that was a reality? Someone should ask him that. Because if he starts pig-splaining shit to you, what that really means is, let me go ahead and translate that for you, is shut the fuck up. I want all the money, all the monies, and you'll contribute no matter what. Now the question is, at that point, is you, as the individuals, as those who contribute to him, how does that make you feel? That someone who would be making X amount, you know, week in, week out, if he could pull the numbers, if he was entertaining, if he had talent, you know, like I said $16,000 over 4 hours. That's, if he did it twice a week, that's $32,000. Would he still request contributions from you guys when he could clearly pay his bills? If he was actually entertaining, if he could garner an audience and keep them, would he actually really need you guys to give him contributions, to support him? Because those are only 2 days a week, ladies and gentlemen. Phil works 6 days. Who's going to support him the other 4 days? Just something to think about.
Opportunities because of the trolls. And it's hilarious because this is how the trolls are incredibly hypocritical, okay? They say, well,
Phil e-begs constantly. And that's why we don't like him. And that's why we harass him and we do all these things to him. It's like, well, yeah, but here's the thing. Maybe if you didn't take away my opportunity to do sponsored streams like everyone else can do, then maybe I wouldn't have to e-beg, because I'd be making enough extra money to pay the bills that I need to e-beg to pay the bills.
How powerless are you that you could let a bunch of people doing this as hobbies take away your livelihood? How powerless of an individual are you to put yourself in that situation, to be taken advantage of like that? Did anybody ever think about that at all? If what he says is true, of course. Did he ever think about that at all? And when does personal responsibility and accountability become a factor in this equation? Anybody? Anybody at all? Anybody at all? When in actuality, the air quotes hate against him came way before the e-begging. It came down to how he was treating people and how he was reacting negatively to games. That's how it all originally started. But we're going to just gloss all that over, though, yeah? And we're just going to focus on this one thing, this e-begging thing. And we're just going to go ahead and avoid everything that preceded it. Right? Right? Right.
What I mean?
They don't want to talk about that, though. They don't want to take any responsibility for their own actions. They just want to pretend like, oh, the reason that Phil is in the situation he's in is 1,000,000% his own fault, and nothing has ever negatively affected him to get them to the situation where he is now. Okay? That's the thing, is that they want to pretend like all this is some kind of ridiculous situation I got myself into, when I will take responsibility. Yes, it is. Some of it. But whenever there seems to be a situation where maybe I could get an opportunity, oh, here comes a sponsorship opportunity. Here comes a new opportunity where I can make some extra money. These assholes take it away from me.
But you're the one who said that people who participate in stuff like that are shills, and they're not honest, and they're only doing it for the money, and this, that, and the third. That's the narrative that you put out. That's the narrative that you put out there. So, theoretically, Just saying. Just put this in perspective for a minute. I'm just trying to just tell you guys what I'm thinking. I mean, doesn't that make you a hypocrite as well as a liar? To bash other people who participate in that type of situation, who make a living off of that, but now all of a sudden, since you need it, now you can go ahead and do it too. You can basically talk your shit about those people, right? And have your audience have a negative outlook on those individuals, right? So they have no choice but to come back to you and consider you the real and honest person. But then when you're in a bad situation because of your own ineptitude and your own actions, oh, now I can do it because I need it. But you guys know that I'm honest, right? You know that I'm really doing it for the love of the games, but I'm in a bad situation, and that's why I need to take advantage of these type of opportunities. This is the psychosis, the pignosis that he's been trying to pull on you guys for years. For years, he's tried to do that. That's why he used to talk shit about people who used to do Patreon. That's why he used to talk shit about Twitch when he left the first time. That's why he talks shit about a lot of things. And he'll sit there and say, oh, well, back in the day, they didn't have to do that. They could have done this, but they didn't, so that's why I went ahead and I shitted on them. But now I'm in a bad spot, so, you know, you guys shouldn't... No one has a reason to bash me because I really need this. So you're telling me that those people on their platform of choice, keyword, their platform of choice, cannot go ahead and conduct themselves by the TOS within or the TOS on that platform, right? And go ahead and make a living however which way they do it. That's not cool, because that's not what you're doing. That's a problem. But now you're in a bad spot, now that you're a whore, and now that you're going over there and participating in that shit, it's all right now, and all of that shit should be washed away, because that was years ago. You guys need to get over that bullshit. I'm in a bad spot right now. Okay.
I didn't do anything wrong. It's all the defamatory shit and the slander and the garbage that they toss on the fucking internet, all their vitriol and all their disgusting toxic shit. No game developer wants to deal with that. So it all ends up getting taken away from me as soon as I get it, and it's bullshit, okay? Now the reason I'm bringing this up is because I, back in the day, might have said 10 years ago, fuck this, fuck Twitch.
I might have said, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here is such a piece of human garbage that he isn't even man enough to say, I said this. I might have said it. I need to put that little bit of doubt. I need that little bit of wiggle room, right? That little bit of wiggle room so I don't look like a complete and total hypocrite. I need that little bit, just that little piece. I need that little bit more, right? That little bit more. So just to give me that wiggle room. Can't take the hit like a man. Needs someone else to need some padding too. Need some extra padding that would be considered illegal unless we're fighting in the amateurs. Just so he can have that little bit of wiggle room. Wow.
Fuck that, fuck this, fuck that. The bottom line is this. I've mellowed out a lot over the years.
No.
So it was your depression. It was your depression talking. You were depressed about other people's money. That's what it was? That's what the situation is? You on Wings' medication too? Is that why you're so angry at him? Do you guys have to share a prescription? Please let me know. I just want to know.
It is all fucking lies. All right?
I've become a much more relaxed person. I mean, I want to do chill streams, you know what I mean? The old Phil doing chill streams, like that was the opposite of what I was all about back then, right? So, now, it's kind of like, I hear all this negative stuff about Twitch, even though I've been affected negatively with stuff on Twitch, like this sponsorship program, which I feel is completely unfair, that I get treated like this, okay?
Now, you're mad about a sponsorship program. How about being mad that you're not getting promoted? How about being mad that you're not, let's reword that. How about you being mad because you don't get any spotlight? That no other streamers are trying to push you like they push each other. Oh, I'm sorry. Despite the fact that people did try to push you. That other bigger streamers did try to go ahead and inflate your numbers and try to, do collab streams with you and so on and so forth, and you brushed all of them off because they weren't worth your fucking time. So it's funny how he don't want to get promoted, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't want to get pushed up higher in the directory. He wants to make shill dollars. Excuse me. He wants to make shill bucks. That's what he feels like was inequality for him. that he can't make shill bucks. Playing games that he's already playing on stream that he's going to get money for, as well as turn them into YouTube videos. Our little piggy here is mad that he can't double dip, or sorry about that. Our little piggy is mad because he can't triple dip. Aww, ain't that terrible? It's not a horrible injustice, ladies and gentlemen? A horrible injustice. A horrible injustice that Phil Burnell, who hasn't worked a job in 11 years, who has took other people's sticks for years, copied everybody who he thought was successful that he could try to get away on, portrayed himself to be what he really is, as a racist and a sexist and other piece of shit type of stuff, right? Who spewed venom on everybody while he was the man, or at least while he thought he was the man, and he was on top, and he had influence, and he had all these kids that were willing to go off and harass other people on his behalf. Now that he's an old man, he's falling apart, got a wife that don't give a fuck about him, got a cat that's quite literally enslaved, you know what I'm saying, to bring him extra bucks. Feels that it's horrible. Feels that he is being persecuted because he can't make extra shill bucks. He can't triple dip on Twitch, despite the fact that he's had people deplatform off that same platform. And how many YouTube channels have you had taken down, Phil? How many videos have you tried? How many videos have you taken down? How many videos have you tried to take down? You know, gay ops. But he's the one though that's being persecuted. He's the one who's the subject of inequality. That's him. That's that guy right there. That guy. Okay.
I kind of step back and I look at the big picture. And I say, is it possible that there is unequal treatment of people who stream on Twitch? Sure, it's possible. Absolutely, it's possible. I mean, I'm not going to make two ands or buts about it. It probably does happen. I mean, this is kind of a commonplace thing. I'm used to this happening on YouTube, where you would do one thing and be punished for it, but someone else would do exactly the same thing, and because they were a big content creator on YouTube, they were basically protected from any kind of negative repercussions. It's bullshit, right? Why do the big
bullshit? You mean like how you were protected by an MCN, so when other people who were playing Nintendo content had their videos taken down and or demonetized, you went ahead and were like, nah, I have a managed partnership and you guys don't, and fuck you, Nintendo, I'm gonna go ahead and get mines with Machinima getting a piece off of me. You mean like that? You mean like those type of situations, Phil? Just curious.
I not have to deal with content ID, but I do. Why do the big guys not get a ridiculous amount of false copyright strikes, but I do? It's not fair, and it's not equal treatment. I'm used to being the little guy from being on YouTube, alright? But for me, here's the thing. The modern era, I look at stuff and I say, you know what? Despite the fact that things aren't perfect on Twitch, things are good here. I have a fun stream every day, where I get to hang out with people and have fun. In general, we're able to control the stream chat to the point where the trolling really isn't that big of a deal. And people are able to hang out and have fun and have a chill and relaxed time on my streams. I make good money doing it. People are very generous with their contributions. I have a ton of fun here. I have more fun on Twitch than I ever did making content for YouTube, and I really actually wholeheartedly mean that. I really do have a hell of a lot.
I make good money, but I can't seem to pay my bills each month.
More fun with these streams than I did making the offline content for YouTube. So why on earth am I now going to say, let me nitpick about what other people are getting, alright, and just basically ruin the whole situation, right? Sure, other people are getting sponsored stream opportunities, but it's not the end-all and be-all that I don't get them. I still am able to do what I love for a living and have a ton of fun here on Twitch, regardless of the fact that one opportunity is taken away from me. Sure, there may be, as people call them, thoughts, okay, who...
You know, now that I think about it, right? I wonder if can he participate in a sponsor stream without actually saying that it's a sponsor stream? When you show up to Phil's Twitch, he'll have to have it up there, you know what I'm saying, on his, you know, basically on the title that it is a sponsor stream. But like, if he doesn't actually promote it, and if he doesn't actually say it, for all the people who go and restream Phil or who just jump into Phil's chats into Phil's streams, would you possibly miss that little bit of a caveat and just treat it like a normal day? I wonder. Nah, someone eventually catch it.
Find a way to make lots of money on Twitch and skirt the rules and get away with risque shit and dumbass teenage boys and idiot, you know, virgins, toss them fucking money on a daily basis for shit level quality streams, and they're becoming rich because of it, okay? What the hell does that have to do with me, though? And that's the way that I kind of approach it. Like, what does that have to do with me? Nothing. It doesn't affect
Someone
me.
putting out shit quality and gets paid for it? Gets paid more, well, certainly gets paid more than he should. You don't think that has any, you don't see the, no, you don't see any correlation with that at all? Oh my.
In the least, my streams don't appeal to that audience, and anyone who's going to watch that crap is going to go watch it regardless and never watch my content anyway. So why do I care that another kind of content creator on Twitch can actually make a living doing it?
Wait, so you believe that white knights should watch you over Amaran or Alinity or Pokimane or any other thought? You really think that they should actually be watching you and not them? Huh? That was a really strange way of him wording that. I might be just nitpicking.
Like that when I'm not that kind of content creator. You see what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. Why would I care that kind of content creation is popular here when it doesn't cross over or affect my content at all? You see? I'm just happy at this point to be able to do what I love for a living.
Give me money. Give me your money.
And not see it all come crashing down and get taken away from me. Because I'll be honest, on YouTube it was kind of like that. Every year there was a new crisis.
He has a crossover audience with wings, and he doesn't even want to acknowledge that. And low-tier gods to some extent.
YouTube where they would fuck something up terribly, and now it was like, gee, can I keep doing this for a living, or is everything gonna get ruined and changed because they fucked up the whole system? It's not like that here on Twitch. It's never.
But even if that was the case, that's their system to fuck up. That's their business to screw up. No one said that for you to make YouTube your livelihood, to make it your end-all be-all. They don't have to take care of you. Either you keep up and compete, or you fall by the wayside. Like, this notion that he has that YouTube was obligated to him, I guess is the best way I could say it was obligated to take care of him from here on out, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that a grown-ass man would think that, but he certainly does.
Streaming here, like I said, 2.5 years. I've been a full-time streamer. I haven't had a single crisis. I just get to do what I love. I don't care about the stupid bullshit drama and nonsense that used to happen on YouTube.
You haven't had a crisis, but didn't you have the tax issue? You've had multiple tax issues. You've had a couple of different financial crises in general, which would lead people to believe that you weren't making a lot of money on Twitch, despite the fact that you actually were making a lot of money on Twitch. You've had plenty of financial problems, or you've had certainly plenty of crises, or crises, if you will. You had plenty of issues, whether directly from Twitch or indirectly. It's still kind of part of your problem because that's been your main platform for the last 2 years. I don't even know why I had to explain all that.
Daily, and I like that, okay? I feel like I could just come to stream and relax and have a good time with all of you. So over the years, I've definitely mellowed out. I'm a guy who at one point would have raged against every little injustice, the fact that other people are getting opportunities I don't get, the fact that, you know, I can't do the sponsored streams. I would have lost my shit and been raising a stink to high heaven. Don't really care anymore, you know? I'm just kind of more jaded about it, and I'm more, like I said, I'm more chill and relaxed about it. And I just want to have fun with you guys, and I don't really care about all the other drama. You know, I have so many people, I might leave Twitch and go to Mixer. Fucking go then. Seriously, then just go. If that's the case, that you're gonna abandon this business that supported you for years, right? Then leave. Go ahead. Seriously.
No one's abandoning shit. You're just exploring your options. And people respect you more if you're brave enough to do so than you sitting there being a cuck and staying around and being comfortable. That's the first thing. Second thing is this whole thing about I don't care so much anymore. That's not the case at all, obviously. By now, if you guys have listened up to this point, you know what this is all about. This is yet again giving up our freedoms for security. This right here is Phil Burnell, DSP, Darkside Phil, the most honest and realest person on YouTube, being basically castrated in front of all of us, further than I usually take it, just so he can make money on a platform that don't even promote him, who just lets him stay there. That's what this is. And despite the fact of all the dick sucking he probably does behind the scenes to stay on the platform when he does something bad. This is sad. This is sad that Mr. I don't hold my tongue for nobody, you know what I'm saying? That I'm going to say what the fuck I want and if people don't like it, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? And all that is now reduced to this. Because he has no other choices. If he goes to Mixer right now, what does Phil Burnell have? What does DSP, what does Darkside Phil have? Honestly. Don't worry, I'll wait. What does Phil Burnell have if he's forced to go to another platform? Or even if he chooses to? You guys ready? He has nothing. His legacy doesn't mean shit. His EVO wins, or his FGC days wins, doesn't mean shit. His word doesn't mean shit now, so it certainly wouldn't mean shit then, let alone on that platform. He would have to start over from scratch. He would have no clout. He would have no footing. He would have nothing. The only reason why Phil is profitable, and I use that term loosely, on Twitch is because he had been around for a long time. He didn't delete his account when he left out of there in a huff because his bitrate was too high. He just deactivated his account. And when you're a partner, as Tevin has brought up plenty of times, praise be, your partnership don't get deleted. They just go ahead and put it on standby. They put that bitch into hibernation until you're ready to come back. So be it. So when he came back, he was able to come back in as a partner and sign a new contract and then be opened up to all the money and everything else that could come into play with that. But that was only because he was there a long time. If he had to try to start that on Mixer, he starts at ground fucking zero. And he knows it. And he knows that if he does that, he's fucked. Royally. Because he can't do anything else. Because he doesn't know nobody over there. People are going to be sending Mixer on Twitter and Facebook and wherever else all the different clips of him talking shit about the platform. Everybody else who's been there actually put in the time and put in the effort, so they're automatically have advantages over him. And who he is means nothing there. Mixer don't give a shit about YouTube. Mixer don't give a shit about Twitch. Now he actually has to work. Now he actually has to be entertaining. He has to be engaging. And he doesn't have none of that. Especially since he's not going to get immediately partnered. He's not going to. He might get an affiliation, but he's definitely not going to get immediately partnered. He literally has to start from the ground up. And do you really see him doing that? Let's reword that. Do you really see him being able to do that? Me neither.
That's fine. No one's telling you to stay. I've said this a million times. I feel that competition improves things. Actually having a solid competitor.
I said this a million times that the what? Competition improves things, but didn't you say that, oh, that's why Tevin's over there on that fucking website that no one gives a fuck about and people don't even know that it exists? But now all of a sudden competition's good? Oh, you mean when you were hoping that Amazon would have their video sharing service that would be similar to YouTube, and you could go ahead and use what little status that you have left with your little Twitch channel to go ahead and bring it all over to bring all of your YouTube videos over to Twitch so you can double dip over there, except for the fact that that's not happening. The video site that they set up isn't what you're thinking it was, but you hope that it was going to be, but it's not, because they don't see the need to waste server space on something that petty. That's what it came down to. And even if they decided to do that, you wouldn't have made any real money on it anyway, because people have to actually watch your shit. And who really wants to watch shit, Phil? Really? Who really wants to watch human fucking feces? Is that the competition you were talking about, Phil? Is that what you meant? Is that what you said millions and millions of times? Well, we're just going to go ahead and insert Mixer right into there, though, right? I'm just going to slide this in, just like you slide it in between Catherine's cheeks, right? Just like right here, just a little bit. Just a little nudge. Give her just a tip. Just like that. That's what we're doing? Whatever. Man has to work with whatever size that he has, right?
To Twitch is going to be a good and healthy thing for both Twitch and the competitors, because it's going to make both sides want to trump each other and beat each other in both delivery of the quality and other things. So Let the competition begin. If people want to leave Twitch, let them. I don't think anyone should even be talked out of it. Let them go over there, and then let the two businesses compete, and we'll actually see some positive come out of this. Instead of right now, it just seems like a bunch of shit talking towards Twitch, but I don't necessarily see anyone having valid points, because most of them were only jumped on the bandwagon when Ninja went to Mixer anyway. So.
Wow.
But what about all the shit talking you did on Mixer? Did you look at any of the valid points or any of the possibly lucrative opportunities and chances that could have been out of Mixer? Did you ever think about that at all? Just saying. And also, Phil, and I'm not saying that I know what the kind of the parameters of your contract is, but I'm going to go ahead and just give you guys in the audience, ladies and gentlemen, a bit of an example of when Destiny ended up getting himself knocked off of Twitch for about a month. Can't remember what he did. It doesn't really matter. But he ended up getting knocked off for a month. He lost. He said he was going to lose about $25,000 that month in just premium subs. Which, goddamn, it's a lot of money. Anyway, he said that the parameters of his contract, he could still stream on YouTube. He just couldn't stream gaming content. So that's where, and I think he still does some of his political talk over on YouTube as I speak. But he can't actually do any gaming content over here as the parameters of his contract. I would assume Phil has that exact same thing. He can do his IRL streams on YouTube while going ahead and doing his gameplay streams, if that's what you want to call that garbage, over there on Twitch. Problem is that if he does an IRL stream over here, well, welcome to the Coliseum, and it's not going to work out well for him. So he just goes ahead and does everything on Twitch to hide himself. It's rather pathetic, to be perfectly honest with you. Because would that not be him biting the hand that feeds him? Who made him what he is? Whatevs. I just thought I'd throw that out there as an example. So if Phil was to get knocked off, so with that being said, if he was to go to Mixer, even though Mixer doesn't have all those different categories or whatnot, if he ended up getting banned, or if he ended up getting knocked out of the partnership deal on Twitch, he theoretically could stream gaming on Mixer and then do his, he could probably do IRL stuff on Twitch and be fine. A new contract would have to be drawn up once he's eligible for it. But I don't think they'd want him for just gaming content. So he's kind of in a catch-22 either which way. He better smarten up, because Mixer is going to probably be the next frontier, and the moment Twitch looks like they don't need him no more, they're going to drop him. You guys don't believe me? Well, think about all the other companies that let him go, because we like Phil and we like what Phil does, and Phil did nothing wrong, but we had to because of all these haters fucking up our business model. I mean, eventually someone's got to take out the trash. DSP News.
Cliffy Bureau did a 1301-bit cheer and says, "I want to strip you down, cover you in green paint, and spank you like a disobedient avocado." He sounds good.
That's very exciting news, Cliffy Bureau. It's never going to happen, but I thank you. Someone named Linda did a 100-bit cheer talking about PewDiePie get married. Well, great for PewDiePie. Happy for him. I don't give a shit about PewDiePie, so I don't care. So there you go.
A 100%.
Wait. Now, is this from the same bitch who got mad on his wedding day that no one reached out to him and gave him congratulations, this, that, and the third? That is what this is, was it not? He could have said, he should have said, "Congratulations to Ninja, and I wish him and his bride the best." Phil wanted people to say that to him. He was hoping bigger content creators were going to do that. He even said so on Twitter, and he didn't get that. All right, I think he said it, or maybe he said that in a pre-stream. I don't know, one or two. He said he was disappointed, though, that he didn't get that. But yet now, his nemesis, if you will, has gotten married, and the one time where he could have showed some solidarity and been like, you know what, hey, what? Congratulations to PewDiePie and his brand new wife. He wants to act like this ass clown. He wants to act like this. And he wonders why good things don't happen to him. When, in actuality, his marriage was really just him, Catherine, and his parents. When Ninja had basically, or not Ninja, when PewDiePie basically had like a who's who of YouTube, if not just internet royalty that showed up to his wedding. And Phil just got married in his parents' backyard next to a dead rabbit. It's a rather somber moment, isn't it?
A negative and toxic person.
Now, wait a minute. I was just about to end the pre-stream, but May Pistol Meltdown cheered. He says, I thought that finger sniffing meme was on this channel because you rub your goatee and sniff your fingers. No.
Oh!
Apparently that finger sniffing meme had to do with another streamer. That's what I was told. And then when I started using the emo of Thanos, people made jokes. Oh, that looks like he's sniffing his fingers. So that's funny because it's like that meme from the other guy. So they started making that a reference to it, and then it just stayed in here forever. If people have made it into, oh, I sniff my beard or whatever, I have no fucking clue. But that wasn't how it originated. Because I know, what, a month or two ago, I asked about that, and people were like, no, that's a stupid Wings meme. Something that he had said on a stream about something. I don't know. His fingers smelled like something. I don't know what it was. Okay, good. Never mind. Sorry, I got an important email.
But this is coming from the same individual who had sticky fingers only like a video or two ago, right? Now I remember why I used to combo videos together for broadcast, because it all helps itself out in the end.
Something to do with you guys. It's something to do with something that's going to happen here at my condo soon. And they had screwed up a schedule, but now they fixed it. So
Stop streaming games and just start read contributions all day. I mean, technically that would happen if there were enough contributions, just being honest.
Hint, hint, hint. Hint, hint, hint.
But, so far there haven't been, those many contributions. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. It's the guy who just doesn't get reality.
You're damn right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, this was a long one, but I mean, that's kind of why you guys are here, though. Let's go ahead and clean some. Let's clean this up, right? Let's go ahead and set the mood. Let's go ahead and clean up here a little bit. Thank you yet again, Snort Burnell, for the greatness. All right. We are back where we began, ladies and gentlemen. So, where did we go from all this? There was a lot to unfold, a lot to unwrap. I got a little bit saucy there, which tends to. I think that's probably the first time I've actually. It's probably the second time I've actually done that. The Twitch will work backwards. The Twitch inequality drama is really wham, wham, wham. I don't get opportunities to screw the system over. Make a long story short. Evil story, total garbage. Already dissected that shit. The whole situation with Catherine. Who cares? He was bad at the game the first time. He'd be worse at it the second. Unless he's watching somebody else play it. They are not donations. He's a charity. He's literally a fucking charity, so it might as well be a donation. They might as well be donations. And then the monthly goal being achieved means nothing, and nighttime streams are better. I mean, if you guys are looking for gold dust or you're looking for hot takes, yes. And not important to receive payments, despite the fact that if you want to interact with him on his streams and be given recognition, you have to pay for it. Sounds like receiving payments for acknowledgement to me. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the bacon tsunami that I was able to deliver to you guys. It was rather fun, to say the very least. And hopefully your day and week, I should say. Hopefully your day and week works out well, ladies and gentlemen, because that's important. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network and Productions for the Snort Report and SnortBucks Coffee, the best coffee. I am your host / anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. And also remember, SnortBucks Coffee is not just coffee. Like I said, we have cappuccino, we have tea, we have different types of soft drinks. We have expanded outwards. So SnortBucks Coffee is the brand. But we have certainly transitioned, and we have branched out to more than just coffee. Just keep that in mind. When the storefront opens back up, Just want to let you guys know. Trying to go ahead and get you guys acclimated into the marketing scheme now. Take care of yourselves, guys. In the broadcast. Sorry.